Well, hello world, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and today we're doing something a little bit different. About 2 months ago, I had a band here tracking drums for their upcoming EP. Now, I worked with this band before on an album. We had met in Philadelphia when I still lived there. My band played with their band, stuff like that, and they, wanted to record with me. It just so happened when they were ready to record, we acquired this space here. We were still going back and forth between Philly and Maryland, so I had a recording studio in Philly.
He's taking video. I'm taking video. We taking video, yo.
In the basement of our home, and I was kind of building out the studio here in Maryland, and I didn't have the drum room quite tuned just yet, but it was really good for what we were going for that particular album because they just wanted this huge room sound. This time they wanted a smaller or a dead kind of sound, and I said, well, let me try to record in the vocal booth first, and I didn't really like the sound of it in the vocal booth, so we have the drums still in the big live room, but I put more baffles around the drums. The drummer put shirts on top of the toms to kind of get a deader sound, less attack and everything like that. So basically this is kind of like behind the scenes, but it's not a technical behind the scenes. It's not like I'm showing you how I mic'd a snare drum or anything like that. The other thing was that I was just going through all this footage because I left the cameras on, and the drummer and the main songwriter went down to go over drum parts for the next song, and me and the co-writer just got into a conversation about how he wanted to build his home studio. He has all this stuff in his work office because he works from home. It's candid, we were just talking, so it's not like going to be like perfect audio. I just thought some of the conversations that we were having could be interesting to people that are learning about recording. So if you're into that, subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell, and thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Appreciate you guys and gals. And yeah, I'll be doing some more guitar pedal videos very soon. And yeah, cool.
You pair of needle nose pliers?
Yeah.
This lug casing, I just went to go take this out and it just went. Wow.
More needle of nose.
Yeah, and longer.
Also, I have trouble imagining that Sean does not somewhere in this vast array of well-organized hardware just lives in there now.
Now the magnet's making it do something. Oh, look. Remember that trick? When you have your friends over, you put the magnet on there?
Yeah.
And you're like, yo,
Can we use
I'm
that
a
to get this
magician,
on?
bro. Get another magnet.
What kind of stuff maybe for the YouTube channel?
Damn. Wow.
Amazing.
That was great, yeah.
Hey,
Alright.
I guess we're gonna try it with the drum machine in at first, and then if you want me to mute it in places, or
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
So I have a track that just has the drum machine as it will be in the final song without any of your parts.
Okay.
Do you want to hear that?
Yeah, can I just hear that?
Yeah. So just use drum machines alt instead of drum machines.
I've heard enough of it. That's enough.
are you good with those levels?
Yeah, the levels are fine, but I think I would actually like the drum machine in the whole time.
Alright.
All right.
I know that's lame.
Yeah, I thought he might want it.
Hey.
Hey, you were good. You done good, kid. So what am I doing? Drum machines.
So mute drum machines alt.
Alt, yes. All right, here we go, Johnny.
4. Do that again.
Like there's a, like just like, you know, some accents.
Okay.
Restica that.
Okay, I have res at dat. Got it.
Yo.
Covetous of your setup here.
Oh.
Oh
I
hell
was
yeah.
literally just telling my wife, I was like, that area we have a detached like garage. So I have like, and I was like, the upstairs there would be a good place to turn into a studio. How even it has like a small room off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like, ooh, that could be a isolation.
Yeah, I mean, I got obviously lucky just being here, but the fact that this room was built last, our bedroom's right on the other side. There's a door there. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I think I had to set up everything over here last time. And we all had the couch here and whatever. But this room was built last, and it was a walk. It was open. It was just like a walk from this side to the bedroom. So you could go outside and blah blah blah. There was leaking going on in the foyer. The foyer's right underneath where you guys come in.
Yeah.
And they never could fix it, so they just ended up building this as their exercise room. And because it was already built for outside, it's already slightly decoupled from the house in a way. You know what I mean? It doesn't have everything that you would actually use to decouple it for sound, but still, it's a fact that
going on.
and that's a storm door or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's not
That's an
regular.
exterior
Yeah,
sliding door.
yeah.
Sliding door, yeah.
I had those extra blankets. Yeah, I used to cover it, but it just became a pain in the ass.
You're way beyond good enough.
Yeah, I'm in the sweet spot.
It's like,
and
it's like you don't let the no need to strive for like diminishing returns.
if I had to, I would just put headphones on anyway too. But I mean, in Philly, I ended up building a fake wall to have separation between me and the little drum room area, and then I had those blankets. So when I was recording people, then I would put two of them together on one side, two of them together on the other side, and because I was in the sweet spot, I would hear the speakers more than I would hear anything else. And that's what I did over there, because in the beginning I either had headphones on, which kind of can be hard anyway, and then I would just have the person play, and then I would have to listen to the playback, you know what I mean, and kind of go from
Tweak
there.
like that.
I feel like you can't really understate like how much more taxing it is to be working through headphones for like a long period of time.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like
Sweaty and uncomfortable.
and even just like it's just like on your ears. It's like exhausting from a listening perspective.
Yeah.
Like I finally just got like reference monitors like in the last year, and I've been doing everything through headphones for like a really long time, and now that I have those, I'm just like, oh my god, like,
It's free.
I can do this all day now.
Yeah, it's only good. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, if sometimes when I'm fleshing out ideas with people, like producing them, they'll be in here. I might have a guitar. They might just be doing vocals. I might just have them in here so we can just kind of like go through the timeline or chat and kind of come up with stuff. Then the headphones are fine, but now that I can just be like, go in that room, leave me alone.
Go over there.
But yeah, it's in Philly it was like cables everywhere all over the place, and just trying to staple them into the side of the wall, or have them out of the way and the best I could, but like the studios that get built from the ground up, they have a floating floor to decouple them from the live room, but they also have channels under the floor to run cables. And that's why you see these big studios where they'll have the console, but behind them they'll have a rack like that.
Yeah.
And you won't see anything. You won't see cables because they're running underneath the floor, and then they'll have like,
That sounds nice.
But here, I mean, I put that there, and then just my cables are running behind there. Nobody really sees them. I mean, most people aren't coming in here and going, oh, where's the cables at? So,
Yeah, I mean, nah, man. I mean, your setup is ridiculous. Like, I mean, to be honest, like awesome, ridiculous,
Thank you.
awesome. Yeah,
Thank
I mean,
you.
like, I'm sure for you it's probably easy to look at it, and this is the way natural human thing, right? It's like for you, it's probably easy to look at it and be like, I wish I had this or I had that or this is like this and I'd rather it be like this or whatever. But like, I mean, you know, me and Rob, like last night, we were like, oh man, coming down here is just like, I wish I had that.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean, I've gone through so many different things. I've bought and sold so many different things, and if I was just working by myself, I wouldn't have half, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely make a record with a 2-channel audio interface, but but tracking, nothing's gonna beat a good live room and some decent mics and preamps. So it's I mean, I wanted this console for forever, and I had made my own preamps that mimic the preamps that are here, and that's what I recorded you guys with. I think I didn't have the console then, right? And so I recorded you guys with the preamps that I made that are designed after this whole company, and but I was like, I don't need a console because I had basically built my own channel strips in a way. And then we got a call from the guy that we were dealing with in New York, and he's like, I got a console. Somebody's selling it. You know, it was used from a studio in New York because they were getting their latest console that had more stuff in it. And all that. And I'm like, ugh. She's like, let's get it. And I'm like, because it's like, you don't, the console's expensive, but then even more expensive. Not more expensive than the console, but you have to add that in is the cabling and the patch bay, because you're not going to walk around the back of the console every day to patch things in. But now it's like I have the ability to have EQs on everything and insert compressors in and out so I can actually hear what, you know, bypass them if I need to and not have to run around different places. Because before I had like, I would have 4 preamps over here, 3 other ones over there, depending on where I had to rack them, you know what I mean? And that's why having this is just makes everything in one area. I can put a strip down there and know what things are, and easier. But now it's starting to get hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, feel free.
It was. That's why I said it's like hard to like gauge this room sometimes, because once all this stuff's on, especially with the lights too. Because I hate the lights that are up there; they suck. But it's also because it's my YouTube channel thing. So
yeah, no, dude, the vibe in here is immaculate. Cool. The vibe is awesome.
It took a lot of trial and error too, because it's like I want to be able to just come in here, turn it on, and go. So I got these Very poles, and I was doing a lot of my YouTube out there because I had the guitar pedals behind me. I started just doing guitar pedals mostly, and then it's like, all right, I want to start doing the studio and then I'm like, I can't have all those stands in here like I have down there, you know what I mean? It's just I'll trip over and then it's in the way of this, and so I was like, I need all these poles.
Yeah, you have it set up really nicely here where it's like everything is like out of the way, but you have like cameras there, this camera.
Yeah.
You have
I have a camera top down here.
Yeah, let's say there's another one somewhere that I don't know where it's at that's like aimed at you.
I don't even have this one on.
Oh, maybe it's like just over there.
I have this camera right here.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's
like, yeah, you're all hooked up there.
That's right there, and then I usually have this on, so when I'm doing my when I am doing, there we go. So when I'm talking, here's my overhead mic that's usually out of the shot, and then I'm talking and I look at me.
Yeah.
So I don't start looking all over the place, because it's kind of hard to just look at the camera. Or if you're like, a lot of people will have a monitor down or this flip out monitor or whatever, and you're gonna look to the side. That's why you see those people sometimes, they're like looking a little bit off.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of,
No, I think having yourself to look at has got to be helpful.
Yeah, that's why when you see newscasters, not looking at they're reading the teleprompter, but
That
it's
shit's
right in front of the
right
camera.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to streamline a bunch of stuff to be able to do different things quickly. Because if you're making beats, most people, if that's all they did, they would have their machine in front of them, in front of the screen, and they're speaking, you know what I mean? But if you're recording bands, you don't need all that in front of you. So it's like I have different things that I bring in and out of here at different times. So
Yeah, like it would be easier in my case and like in Rob's case where, you know, we just make our like, you know what I mean? It's like, and even though that entails a variety of things, like between making beats, guitar, bass, whatever, all this other stuff, it's like it's a static set of things that we're like regularly doing. And it's
right.
Actually, one of the things that I've been thinking, like while I was here, as I was thinking about, oh, maybe I could set my shit up out the other spot, is that in my home office, because I work from home like 4 out of 5 days, I have everything set up in there to do everything I do. So like I can do my software engineering stuff for work there. I have a small, like 2-person startup doing some software stuff. And so I can, at the end of the day, I hit a button and everything switches to that shit. And that same computer I do that on, I do music and all that stuff on. So like the whole day I'm writing software, my pedal board is like under my feet. And I usually, these days, I'm mostly playing this a bass 6. So I have that like right here. And then my other guitars are over there, my amp's like right. So it's all just kind of like set up all the time, you know? But it's like, and my speakers are, it's so funny because I'm like, it's a temptation all day long to be like, I could just play guitar. So, but I'm sitting here, as I'm here, I'm like, you know what though? Like, the setup for my music is a little bit like inferior to what it easily could be if I just separated them and put it in a different place. And it's like if I put it outside, not outside, but out in the other building.
Right.
It's mostly like a big ass empty space. And I'm like, well, I mean, I could build like a soundproofing wall, you know, and like put insulation, this, that, and the other in there, and then I could have like a separate room. I could have like a room where I do like mixing and referencing, and have another room to record in.
It kind of changes because you're changing modes or hats, if you will. Like I said, I had that area in the corner was my video editing area, and it was because I was using the Mac Pro as my main studio computer, and I just wanted the things separate so software wouldn't have issues with operating whatever, you know what I mean? But it seems like it's not as bad as it used to be. At least the stuff that I use. It's not the way all I know is it's not as hard as it used to be to like have certain things up to date, you know what I mean? But certain programs I don't update a lot anyway, unless there's like stuff I absolutely want to use, you know what I mean?
Yes, some software gets me nervous with that. Like we use Ableton to record on, and every time you update Ableton, it's like you're rolling the dice of like there's gonna be a problem with your existing files. Annoying as shit.
Well, that's what happened here is I've been updating Pro Tools just about every time for like 8 years. Not 8 years, I'd say 4 years. And I have yet to like have any problems. And I updated it. I don't even know why I updated it, because I don't usually update shit right before I have a session. I just like, oh, I guess I'll update it. I think there was like some new features that I wanted to try out. And then we're working, and then all of a sudden low latency is not working correctly. So that's why we were hearing things twice. So I had to use a workaround for it, but it was like, it's making the session not go as smoothly as I'm used to. And I'm just like, what the f***? And if I had time, I would have like just uninstalled and then reinstalled the other one.
That can be
a problem. And then on top of that, usually you have to like trash preferences, and then I'm gonna have to, I don't have this set up. I have to go redo all these things. I gotta go in my peripherals. I gotta change that. and then it'll be some other problem later. So I'd rather just deal with this one bug
Yeah.
than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a completely different f***ing world in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years has just changed immensely.
It's the only recording stuff I ever had before we started doing like Pro Tools stuff back in like, God, I don't know, probably like 07, 08. You got it right out there. That Tascam.
Oh, yeah.
4-track cassette thing. Love that thing, man.
No, I still love it. I did some videos on it. Actually, I got it when we were still in Philly because I wanted to, you know, like send drums through it, you know, even after recording it through here, just send it there, bring it back, or a whole mix. And I ended up doing that for a band because you do get a nice, soft, pillowy kind of low-end bloom, and you can get more average loudness between everything because it brings up it saturates, you know, the tape saturation. So, you know, that thing is awesome though. It's pretty. The only thing it's missing is phantom power.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if it had phantom power, and the routing at first, because when I first got it, I never had one that had like a complex mixing thing involved in it, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, this is kind of odd how they have, you can do this, you can go there, but you can't go this way, because if you go that way, then you're bringing all this with it. It's like, so I was just like, this is kind of, you have to think about it before you do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was my point with people that have never done 4-track recording or any kind of analog recording is, even if you're using a drum machine, you got to think about, is there a fill here? Is there something there? Are you going to do a breakdown here? And how do you do a spot where there's nothing and you just want to interlude with, you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that without a click track or some kind of thing going, you know? And if you use the click track, then you have to kind of erase it somehow, and sometimes it doesn't erase all the way because it's on tape.
Yeah, and it's really, it's so hard to not get, like, even I remember we would do stuff with the 4-track, like even if we did something like have a metronome playing into like your headphones, like in a separate set of headphones that you have on.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you're just like in your bedroom doing that, like the microphone's gonna pick that up.
Oh yeah.
It's like you still like there's a faint click track coming through, or like we used to have problems with that shit with like vocals too. It's like you hear like the backing, you hear the thing you're singing over coming out of your headphones and into the microphone.
Oh my god, just so many things can happen.
The first time I ever tried to use a condenser microphone for something,
Yeah.
I was like, how the is anything ever quiet enough to use this thing? I can hear the heartbeat of someone in another room with this microphone.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I know. That's why I also tell people that live in the city to not get one. If you are on a crowded street or you hear your neighbors already, then just get a Shure SM7B, because you're not going to get the bright high-end articulation, but you're not going to hear your neighbors arguing at, you know, when you're in the middle of some kind of emotional take, you know what I mean? Because it will pick the up.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot lately about, like, I'm going through like a weird like midlife crisis thing. I'm trying to figure out like, what do I want to really be spending my time doing now, you know? And I like writing software, and I like mostly just like making, like I like making art and music and just building, inventing things and stuff. And I was like, I need to start like trying to think about like ways, things I want to start getting into, ways to like combine those things together more. So it's like lately I've been thinking about like, maybe I'll start learning how to build pedals and microphones, and maybe I'll start working on writing like music plugins and stuff like, you know.
Wow.
And I'm like, these are all things that like I have the education and training to do. Like I went to school for engineering.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like,
I built 8 of those EQs in there, and not that I didn't design them. And I built a bunch of pedals, guitar pedals, and I built these 2. But again, I didn't design. I just you know, they're DIY kits that you buy, and then
Yeah.
you know, like. But I got way into all that. Liana, I wanted to get into soldering and electronics, and so Liana got me some cheap thing from Amazon that you practice on. So I did one thing just to get used to soldering. Then I did like a little AM radio. Then I just, all right, let me do one of these. And the first one I did was that Blue Stripe 1176, and that was probably the hardest one I've done. Because the same company made this one, but they updated certain connections. They had those Elco connectors like that for certain parts, instead of you having to, certain things you had to like just be super careful on how you're, where you're putting the cable and how this other thing goes to this thing and the order you did things in, and you know, you're soldering 500 freaking resistors, and but me doing that was like super chill for me, because I would just put on Spotify playlist or whatever, and I would just start hearing shit that I never heard before, and I'd be like, so I'd be doing that, listening to the shit, and I'd be like, oh, what's that? And then I'd stop, so I can revisit that later. And I learned I found a bunch of different bands I would have never heard of if I didn't do that. So